Good morning to Emma Jones. Goes under the hilarious profile on her Twitter page. Ginger, sometimes nuts with a touch of spice. I love that. She says, Piers, your attitude... Piers, she starts.
Piers.
Your attitude in regard to tattoos is so outdated. It doesn't prevent a person from being professional, educated or suitable for a job. Well, fine, if you're a footballer. I get that. Or a cricketer. I mean, Ben Stokes has great tattoos and a sort of warrior stuff. I get that.
Why can't you be a warrior head teacher?
Yeah, well, maybe. It's an interesting debate. Would you feel comfortable about that amount of ink coming in on your headmaster's body?
I don't understand why you think tattoos affect someone's ability to teach.
Standards.
No, but I don't... What is this standard? Look...
If every kid in the classroom came in like that, what would the normal head teacher's response be?
Like your tattoo, did you get that for the weekend?
No, don't have this done. Don't have these tattoos. It's called standards. I'm old-fashioned. I make no apology for it.
I'm afraid you're outdated.
No, old-fashioned doesn't mean outdated. And that's the whole argument about that school.
It does.
Which is actually old stuff doesn't mean
outdated.
You just dismiss it and ignore it and airbrush it from history.
Well, you can't airbrush away a tattoo. And once it's done, it's
Lord
there.
Nelson have a place.
GP Dr. Shephard Roy from Southend in Essex says, I love Piers, but I'm a heavily tattooed doctor and my patients love my tattoo sleeves. A GP having them normalises them and shows that people with tattoos aren't big and scary. A retired police officer, Steve Parker from South Devon, says, I retired from the police in July last year after 30 years of service. I'm now a bus driver. Plenty of tattoos. Do these make me any less of an officer? My commendations and exemplary service would say not. I was even a firearms officer working at the Royal Lodge when the Queen Mother was there. Well, there we go.
There we go, what?
You're not going to argue with Steve Parker.
None of this is going to make me turn into a tattoo lover. I've never liked tattoos.
You don't have to love the tattoos. You just need to not cast aspersions on people who have tattoos.
But I do think they send a signal.
Do their jobs.
People that have the whole body covered in tattoos, I just have a problem with it, sorry. Unless it's Ben Stokes, in which case he's a national hero.
Or if it's Ant Middleton, in which case you think you might get into trouble.
Or Ant Middleton, because he might beat me up. Hilary, have you got any tattoos?
No, I'm more of an intimate body-piercing man myself. What's funny about that?
Do you want to go into any further detail?
No.
Does it affect your ability to do your job?
That's my favourite moment ever. That's the moment the halo came crashing down.
That'll be trending.
And we realised underneath that benevolent, smiley face is a total...
He's an intimate body piercer.
Don't judge me on it.
He's a total deviant. Well, lots of people now responding, agreeing with me about tattoos. Mark Betts, I'm a teacher with lots of tattoos, Piers, but I agree with you. So when I go to work and wear a shirt and suit, nobody can see any ink. Fair enough.
Yeah, but you say that even having the tattoos means there's a drop in standards.
I think if you hide them, you're showing a sense of shame. You're admitting that you have a problem. Jimmy on Twitter, people with tattoos. Jimmy on Twitter, people with tattoos tend to be unhappy with their appearance and life in general. They lack personality, so they have doodles drawn onto them to create a false persona. Very boring people deep down.
Wow, that's quite a psychological analysis.
I wouldn't say that to Ben Stokes or Ant Middleton. Monkey on Twitter, my son's a Royal Marine and they all have tattoos, but they put their lives on the line for people. I would exempt the armed forces. There's a long history of tattoo sporting in the armed forces. I get that. But again, they wear uniforms which cover it, predominantly. In sport, I think exemption for sportsmen.
Right.
But it's about teachers. Should teachers have sartorial standards, which includes inking their bodies?
Yes, teachers should have sartorial standards.
Because they are role models who set an example
those.
to kids in the schoolroom, and I'm not sure they should. Personally, Shug on Twitter, I think Piers should have a tattoo live on the show. Why? Why would I do that?
Well, why not?
What would I do? What would I put? Legend across my forehead? What would I do?
Something else across your forehead.
Bell end? No.
You said it!
I know. I like saying that because everyone goes, oh, it's outrageous. They literally call me it all day long. Sorry, Hilary, you want to...
I just want to say there's a massive industry right now in people wanting to remove tattoos that they regret bitterly.
Yeah.
It's a very time-consuming, very expensive and quite painful procedure. I would just like...
Well, it's the one... What's his name? One of the Beckham kids had his girlfriend's or fiancé's name and all the love letter.
The love letter, wasn't it?
Tattooed all over his neck or something. And you're like, mate, when you split up... I'm not saying you will, but if you split up, 1 in 3 marriages doesn't survive. What do you do with this neck? I mean, do you literally have to have a skin graft?
Oh, don't. I think
No, but that's the problem, isn't it? You see people go, you know, I love Julie. It's like, what if you split up with Julie? Then what do you do? What if the next one's called Dawn? Then what do you do?
Yeah.
And you do the other arm, I love Dawn too. All that happens if you then split up with Dawn. And, you know, then I love Betty. All right, well, where does Betty go? Is she on your chest?
Are we going through your past love life?
This is why I've never had tattoos. Because where do you end?
I know.
Huh? This is the problem. As Henry said, biggest growth industry, the incredibly painful removal of tattoos.
Whereas when you have intimate body piercings, of course, Hilary...
Tony on Twitter, so much. I'm part of a senior leadership team in an SEMH school, not sure what that is, of which most leaders have several tattoos. In my experience, students find me more approachable and it gives us a talking point, often breaking the ice with new students at school. Sorry, if you need to have tattoos to be able to communicate with students, you're in the wrong industry.
He's not saying
it's the
only thing that they talk about.
You're supposed to be their best buddy sharing your tattoos with them. It's supposed to be their teachers, setting an example. I'm sure I'm right about this. I'm sure... Well, you see, Chris on Twitter, I'm a principal lecturer at UK University and have tattoo sleeves. Yeah. Have tattoo sleeves. What's that?
A sleeve is when you have a tattoo all the way up your arm.
So you literally... Oh, he's got a sleeve.
He's got
all right.
a tattoo sleeve.
I had no complaints and get excellent pass rates. We're in the 20th century.
Well, we're in the 21st.
We're not even in... This is a teacher who's got so much ink splattering his body, he doesn't know what century we're in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the problem, isn't it? That is the problem. They forget even what century we're in because they're so busy looking at their tattoos. So, Elsie on Twitter, Piers, I agree, I hate tattoos. I just can't stand the things, honestly. Unless it's on Ben Stokes' arm and he's crashing.
Or Ant Middleton's.
Or Ant Middleton.
Or anyone who might take you out.
Well, just people I like.